So, Joe, the tests are back. You've definitely watched The Room.
I have, and I can definitely say for anyone who's upset about any cinematic thing ever, whether it be the end of Game of Thrones or the entire series of Lost, wherever you are and you're upset about that, watch The Room, and you will have cause to actually be mad at something you just sat through. And you could argue, no, I gave years to Game of Thrones. They ended it that way. Okay. I gave an hour and a half of my life to The Room, but I feel as though I've lost a decade of my life just trying to wrap my head around any sort of artistic direction or writing or scoring or set design, because you either have to be genius or some sort of wacko to design the building that place that movie takes place in, because there are windows going into everything.
Yeah.
Bathrooms, closets, the floor. You can turn left into the roof access that leads to nowhere, because you can see the roof clearly ends to the left side of the screen, but they always turn left into nothing when exiting through that roof access.
Yeah.
So,
It's a
yeah,
portal. It's a portal, man.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you can't tell, this was Joe's first viewing of The Room by Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, yeah. Had not seen the whole thing up until just now.
Now, you actually seem somewhat annoyed by having viewed a film that was written in the spirit of Tennessee Williams. That is
That's what he claims. He says this was in spirit of Tennessee Williams, because I have been in a Tennessee Williams production, and this felt nothing reminiscent to that.
well, if you don't agree with that, Joe, then where did the film lose you? Because it had quite a few things. There's reasonable conflict. There's drama. There's some pretty spirited acting performances.
Um,
Dramatic, Joe.
Somewhere between the dozen roses and the hot chocolate is when the movie lost me.
The medium hot chocolate, right?
The medium hot chocolate.
Yeah.
you, you, who adults don't do that. Adults, like, don't get me wrong, I love hot chocolate, but if I'm going out with a friend in public, I don't order hot chocolate. I will make that at home for myself. You do, and on top of it, it's a movie. Tommy, it wouldn't matter if you actually like hot chocolate in real life. Just say you want a coffee for the movie. It's acting. It's pretending for a living. And you're not doing that very well, because you are, I don't even know what you're doing anymore. Son of a bitch, I have no idea what I just did, what I just went through. I'm lost, and oh,
Did you at least know? Because
uh,
here's something about the movie that
mm-hmm.
that some may not always get. Did you know where the setting of the movie was?
Supposedly San Francisco.
Oh, you did pick up on that.
I did. And I don't
Okay.
know if it's because we crossed the Golden Gate Bridge 17 times, or if the fact that John Stamos ran out in front of the Full House set and told them to get the fuck off the set at least twice. And he's like, "Hey, everywhere you look, you can't be, because this is where actual money is made. Get the fuck out of here." And that's what happened. Jesus.
Well, so
Fuck.
I'm going to ask you this and be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you notice at all that in an effort to provide clarity and to ensure that the lines were very clearly understood, did you pick up that they dubbed some of the lines in this movie?
Some. Wasn't basically Tommy Wiseau was dubbed what basically over the entire movie, right? He did that himself.
Yes, but once again, Joe, this was for clarity and to help push the story along.
Oh. Why did he dub over? Like, because it's clarity. It's like, so supposedly what we got was more clear than what they filmed. Like, is that what happened? Like Tommy watched and he's like, I cannot understand myself. I will dub over it so people will know what I'm saying. Is
Now,
that
you
what
see,
happened?
and this is a pretty common mistake. Now, I've seen this film several times, Joe.
Mhm.
Um, folks definitely assume things like that, Joe, but the emotional weight and the preparedness of Tommy to know that
Mhm.
you need to hit these lines so that the audience can truly absorb them and become, closer to the storytelling.
Mhm.
These are things that just they absolutely need to happen. So I think on future viewings, this might pack more punch.
Okay.
If I'm being honest with you,
Mhm.
um, but yeah, it was was very very fun. Now it seems like you're actually a little shocked that with the set
Mhm.
that for a movie titled The Room, that this is where most of the film took place.
So it is called The Room, and you'd mentioned this fourth wall earlier, and this is one of the few times where I'd wish the fourth wall was not imaginary and it was actually in front of me the whole time the movie was playing, because it may have added to it. But I was also, again, yes, it being called The Room, I did suspect that maybe something pivotal would happen in the room, that it would have some bearing on the film. Uh, I was unaware that 97% of the set was, in fact, just one room from various angles.
Yeah, and this is me once again, Joe. I don't want to
Mhm.
speak on your behalf. I'm just trying
Okay.
to understand you.
Mhm.
It may seem, at least to me, that you didn't recognize that the room was a safe place for people,
Mhm.
and that the point of the room was that you can come into this room, be yourself, show yourself to the people that you care about, then grow together. I mean, did you maybe not pick up on that theme
So
throughout?
so it was a trust tree is what was developed here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's
It
just think of the staircase that's
Mhm.
on the right-hand side of the room, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
That leads up to
Spiral
this.
staircase that leads up to the bedroom,
Yeah,
which somehow leads up to the roof access.
that has no, well, technically the bedroom, I don't know if it gives you the roof access, but you definitely have at least 3 windows to look out of
That's
from
true.
that bedroom.
One of them is the bathroom.
But that's the nest, I think.
Okay.
And and, uh, and even Denny likes to go up there. That's just
Uh,
how great that nest is.
Denny seems to have free reign to all parts of the room. They never lock the door, and when they want to be intimate and they tell Denny that he needs to go home and they go up the spiral staircase, Denny just follows them.
It's because once again, it's the nest, okay? He can feel like himself up there because
Mm,
Denny views, Johnny
mhm.
as a father figure.
Okay.
Now they don't explicitly state this in the film.
Not right away.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
do get there.
it's more of an inference, and you kinda
Mhm.
have to, read the notes on the film, but
Mhm.
he definitely, Johnny's looking out for him.
Yep, we know this because of how Johnny takes down Chris R quite quite quickly
See,
after Chris
now
R tries to accost Denny, because
yeah,
Denny was taking and dealing drugs for Chris R. For and from Chris R.
and I'm very, very happy that you pointed this out because
Mhm.
this is a very serious topic, everybody,
Yes.
in this movie, and that is, of course, abusing illegal drugs, narcotics,
Yeah.
and
You're not
Joe, that's something I did wanna talk I didn't know if you'd be comfortable even even going into this part of the
Okay.
film.
Well, I mean, you should never sell drugs, and you should certainly never dip into the product. That's just a rookie mistake. I mean, that's that's flying too close to the sun right there. Your your distributor is going to catch on to you when they realize that the product is gone and there's no money, or not enough money, and then that's how you get dropped out of a helicopter. I'm
So
saying Denny should know better than this.
I was gonna say, are you saying that we as viewers, I like to say more like
Hmm.
witnesses,
Okay,
not viewers, witnesses of
witnesses.
this film.
Yes.
Are you saying that in some ways maybe the struggles we have is imprinted on Denny? You know, that we don't know if we're the distributor some days. Other days we don't know if we're the user.
Hmm.
You know, I mean, if you really think about this, this is brilliance on the part of Tommy Wiseau
Hmm.
to be able to think in these types of terms. It's brilliant. It's poetry. It really is.
I mean, it's right up there with, I believe it was Tanya Tucker who once pointed out that sometimes you're the windshield and sometimes you're the bug.
Yeah,
And I think that's what happened with Denny here.
yeah,
We couldn't tell if he was the windshield or the bug, or if he was maybe both.
yeah. And we don't even know what kind of money this kid's tied up in.
We don't know what kind of money. It could be dollars. It could be Deutschmarks. Could be
Yeah,
pounds sterling,
yeah.
um, francs, um, ruples. Um,
See, these are the questions that an allegory such as The Room
mhm.
can cause us to think about.
Yeah, because you have to worry about an exchange rate. Like, what if it's in yen? Yeah, so if you're saying like, "Hey, I owe this guy 5,000 yen, Denny, that's like $50. We can
Yeah,
pay that back, no problem." That's why we need to know what kind of money you're dealing with here.
and that's the kind of problem that a man like Johnny can truly solve. Now,
Mhm,
speaking of problems that he can't solve, and this is once again, this is very serious, Joe, is is the problem of communication.
mhm.
We saw this throughout the film many times. I know it was uncomfortable for you. I saw you in your seat struggling with this. Where do you think that Lisa and Johnny could have fixed that communication? Because there are couples and families, Joe, that are torn
Mhm.
apart every year from these types of things. Where,
Okay.
where did this go wrong for you?
I think where the whole thing went wrong is simply the fact that this sort of thing is gonna happen no matter what, because what the movie establishes here, and its simplistic brilliance, is that men and women cheat all the time. So you might as well stay with someone for financial stability because you don't have to love them if they make enough money. So what went wrong is that they were together with any guise of romance when it should have just been, "Hey, how much money do you make, Johnny? Oh, you make that much. I require this much to be in a relationship with you." And that would have solved all the problems according to the rhetoric the movie set up.
Okay, so if I'm picking up on this, you're
Mhm.
saying that we should stay in relationships for financial stability,
Purely.
but that the institution of marriage is a fallacy and that we should be true to ourselves by being with the people that we love, but not because of their financial stability, because of the other people that we should be with that can care for us.
Yeah. OPP, brother.
That's wonderful.
Completely.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. And I was sitting back, of course, watching your eyes dart back and forth.
They were looking for reason many a time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess looking back, Joe,
Mhm.
at just the design of this interior,
Yeah.
I noticed that's where you got very, very interested. Do you think that, that spoons, particularly, like, prints of spoons that have been
Mhm.
framed,
Yes.
is that something that should be in every home? Modern, contemporary, I mean, classic, what do you think?
Let me answer that question with a question of my own, Mark. And that is, what piece of cutlery is more uplifting than a spoon?
Yeah,
None.
that's deep.
Nothing. Even the thing that you use to like get a pie out, that's pretty rigid. It doesn't have the supple curve of a spoon that comfortably holds it in. The pie one is purely utilitarian. The spoon, the spoon, it hugs you as it pulls you up.
Yeah, the spoon
Yeah.
almost gives life in a way, doesn't it?
Oh, it's it is because like unlike the fork and the knife which are there solely to tear and shred and stab, the spoon brings you closer together. And therefore it needs to be celebrated.
And once again, these are some choices that were made in this film that once again, it looked like maybe you were confused at first. That
Still am.
well, and now and that could just be because this was a first viewing, okay?
What? Yep, that's true. Some things some things require 2 viewings to really see how great they can be. Minimal.
Well, one thing, and this is not even like a societal statement. This is really just truth in motion. Was
Mhm.
that there's several elements of physical activity in this film, and and how physical activity can bring people together. This isn't something you have to do on your own.
No.
You know, we're so used to people in our country having these fitness journeys by themselves when really they should be shared. And I noticed that, and you can correct me on this if you want, but I noticed that as you watched these sequences,
Mhm.
you actually laughed at them, Joe.
I think it's because of one part of the attire. It's not the baggy workout pants. And it is most certainly not the cut-off shirts that are tucked in.
Yeah, or the fingerless leather gloves.
It's definitely the fingerless leather gloves. It's definitely those. Because those, while you're jogging and playing football, let's be honest here, who's that serious about their fitness? How can you be so badass that you're jogging, playing catch with a football, and wearing fingerless gloves? What are you gonna do next? Be jogging on a Harley that's going 100 miles an hour down the interstate while playing catch with footballs that are on fire? No one's that badass. That is one step of separation between those 2 things, by the way. The Harley thing and then just the catch with the fingerless gloves in the park while jogging. 1 degree of separation.
You know, Joe, I think in this scenario,
Mhm.
I'm just going to respect your opinion because I don't know if your words are meant to hurt or maybe they're just misguided here. Really, what I think we need to take away from this, Joe, is that
Mhm.
yes, you can wear a tuxedo playing a pickup game of football in a back alley because you
Mhm.
want to not just feel good, Joe. You want to look good too. And that's a message that this film really does preach throughout. You know, we see suits being worn in casual conversations. We
We
see
do.
we see full denim ensembles,
We
Joe,
do.
in the middle of the day. I mean,
Mhm.
these these are things that are very important to people. We see all kinds of
Yeah.
different dresses for
Being
Kate
humped, no doubt.
being humped. You
Yep.
see, and that's it, Joe.
The
That is
dress itself.
that
Just
is
the
the
dress.
that is the love of self
Mhm.
okay, and looking good and feeling good, and these are things that I think everyone can get behind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are themes in this movie. I can't deny that.
I mean, it's
They are
overwhelming.
themes.
It's
Yep.
overwhelming evidence
Lots
at
of
this point.
themes. Mhm.
I feel like the
And
beginning, Joe, and
Mhm.
I don't want to insult you here, okay?
Mhm.
This is not an intelligence conversation. This is really more about absorption, okay?
Okay.
And just like any good marketer knows,
Mhm.
sometimes it's multiple messages hitting you, before it really hits home.
Mhm.
And I think we both grew today.
I think I think the analogy that's working for me right now is that I'm a dry sponge, and I was being used to scrape a dirty dish, and I didn't let. And that dirty dish was the room, but I didn't let the water flow over me so I could truly absorb what the message was, to that way fully connect to the room and we could grow with each other. I think that's what happened. It's just a dry sponge today, Mark.
See, and I really do appreciate, Joe, that it sounds like you have accepted more of the journey that was the room, that
Mhm.
is the room,
Yes.
because the room does not remain as just a cinematic experience.
No.
This is more of a visual self-help book, okay?
Mhm.
If you really just take a step back
Mhm.
and and let it wash over you, Joe.
Yeah. Mhm.
Let that moisture into the sponge.
Exactly. And
And
I think one message that I will take away from this is our dependence upon media instead of true conversation
oh,
needs to stop. And there's a clear message that they send with that. And that is you put your TV behind your sofa and you start connecting.
you see, this is I think we've really grown
Mhm.
just in this conversation
Yes.
because once again, media tears people apart,
Yeah.
which is why he throws it out of the window as it
Mhm.
crashes to the ground. I mean, it's just visual poetry, and
Mhm.
I told myself I wasn't gonna get choked up discussing this with you, but either way, I
Mhm.
think I think I think we've really grown tonight.
You've done something.
Yeah,
You certainly have.
and I'm happy I was here for your first viewing because I know there's many more on the way. And if you need help, folks, you know where to go.
YouTube, where it's
N
for free to watch.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor of the Digital Section podcast. Also, don't pirate movies.